What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another install video on the broccoli Tacoma. We are heading up to Tahoe National Forest this weekend, and I just got a text from my boy. Hey, make sure you install that breather kit you've been holding because there might be some water crossings. I've had this ARB Differential breather kit sitting in my garage pretty much since I bought the truck. It's cheap insurance to make sure you take care of your differential. Everyone should do it. It should probably be your first mod or one of the first mods that you do, because even if you're going in little puddles, anything that can go over that axle can get sucked into your differential. So let's handle that now and let's get to it. This is going to be the ARB differential kit. I've taken everything out already just so it's easy for you guys to see. It's going to come with a bunch of hosing, some zip ties, some fittings, and the filter. So inside the bag with all the fittings, you're going to have 2 self-tapping screws. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to use these yet. I haven't figured out where I'm going to mount it. 3 plugs, so you can plug up your filter if you're not using those channels, and then 4 fittings. So before we get down and dirty, I'm going to go ahead and throw these 3 on here. We're only going to be using one of these holes, so let's get to that. So you're just going to take 3 of these plugs and then plug up the holes, whichever ones you're not going to use. And then you're just going to find whatever Allen wrench fits it and then get them snug in there. Don't need to be over tight. There's an O-ring in there, so it'll just seat itself. First things first, you're going to have to go under your chuck, locate your breather valve. That is right there. For that valve, you're going to be using a 14 open end box wrench. And then we're going to take that out and then switch it with one of these. So I'm just going to start off by wiping it all down around the area just to make sure if there's any crusties, they'll get wiped off. You'd also take off your spare too. Probably give you a little more room. And then that's going to be a 13mm wrench that goes into that to tighten it down. So I'm just going to tighten this down, and I'm going to throw a little piece of tape on top of there just so nothing gets into that little hole while we're working on mounting it. Let's get to tightening. There it is, all tightened up in there. Have a little piece of tape on the top just so no little dusties get in there while we're working on mounting the filter. Now is about the time you go to the front of the truck, pop your hood, and think about where you're going to be mounting it. So I'm looking at it now. I'm kind of thinking right about here is a cool place to put it, I think. Either way, you could just move it. There's just 2 holes. So the valves that come with these are bite valves. All you're going to do is push this in and then it'll automatically clamp down on it. So we're just going to feed one end right now through the bottom. I'm just going to follow these all the way down until it comes out the other end. Okay, so feeding the wire under, or the wire, feeding the hose under, kind of a pain in the ass, but you could follow a bunch of wires all the way to the back. Let me show you guys. So I have the hose running into here, into there, trying to stay away from the hot movie bits. Comes out a little bit right here, feeds down under into here. So we're following this bag of wires, this hose of wires right here, goes under. So it goes in through here, goes under the cab mount, goes under the cab mount here, comes out right here, follows this batch of wires right here, all the way down to the diff. It's basically just following this batch of wires right here, for the most part. Just want to zip tie some of these. From here on out, just zip tie it all the way down. Use some common sense. Y'all got this. Just make sure it's secure. Okay, so now you've made it this far. You've connected the front hose. You've zipped everything coming up to this point. Now you got all this extra hose. So what you're gonna want to do with this extra hose is actually get it up in there and zip tie it to something up there higher up. It's kind of hard to show you when I'm not on a lift. So you're gonna want to take this extra hose and then zip tie it somewhere up there. But when you zip tie it up there, you don't want to zip it down super hard. You want it to actually be kind of loose so it can move around just a little bit. So I don't know if you can notice this, but it's in there zip tied, but it's super loose. There's a reason for that. This is gonna be kind of hard to explain, but we're gonna take the excess loop, all this extra, and then we're gonna measure out a full extra coil. So you're gonna have a bunch of extra hosing. So I don't know if you could tell, but I measured out a full loop and I push up a little bit extra. So that's when you're out there with your boys and you're getting all flexy, just so this hose doesn't get all stiff on you, there's a little bit of leeway. So you've measured out all your coil, the extra coil. All you gotta do now is plug it in and you're good to go. Just plug it in. Just plug it in. So after you got all that stuff done, make sure nothing's in the way, nothing's hanging out. Make sure nothing's touching anything hot, like your exhaust. Make sure it's not touching any movie bits, too many movie bits. Yeah, so at the end of it, all you gotta do now is throw the filter on and you should be done. There it is. I also promise someday I'm gonna clean up this wiring. It does bug me that's just sticking out like that, but I don't got time for that. So that was my walkthrough on the ARB Differential breather kit. You should be able to go up to the door sills now without tripping about anything. Anything higher than that, you probably have other things to worry about, like all the electronic shit that's in your truck. If you really wanted to, you can source out your own parts and have the breather go out through the tail light over here, like some people do. Probably about 20-30 bucks if you source out your own parts. I just really wanted that ARB filter. That's pretty much it. That's the only reason why I paid for it, and I like supporting companies. It was like 60-70 bucks on Amazon. Yeah, so that's about it. Hopefully next time I'll catch you guys out on the trail. Hopefully we're doing something fun, not just sitting here in my garage installing shit. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.